Okay, this is the teleconference for the Education and Healthcare Facilities Committee, and it's July 14th, as you can see. On the call at the moment is Nahad El-Sharif and from Saskatchewan, and Lauren Clark from Alberta. Lauren is, maybe you want to say a little something about what you do out there, Lauren, just to refer, not as if anybody needed more introduction at this point. You're well known, but you just want to briefly explain what you're doing up there.
Electrical engineer with electrical utilities for the University of Alberta, which is a district energy system in the smack dab in the middle of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And I do project management and design and whatever else they tell me to do that day.
You're a good soldier, Lauren. How about you, Nahad?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm an electrical engineer as well, and I work for Littlefield Starco in Saskatoon. I was in the started in the R&D group and now in product management and just technical marketing as well.
Okay. And let's see, we had some, let's approve you here. We're going to endorse you. And here's Nahad here. Okay, so to bring everybody up to where we had a question, we roughly ran through all of the issues that have come up in the past 2 weeks on our with this link here. And so I was just briefing Lauren and Nahad about a new technical committee for smart grid, and it's right here. And I'm on this. Anyone's welcome to join it at this point. Now, this is the second meeting. This is the first meeting. So this is one where the IEC wants to establish a global protocol, communication protocol, to minimize what might be thought as destructive competition between manufacturers when they want to connect power system elements to communication systems together. So at the moment, most of us have grown up in a world in which we understand how a load is connected to a supply wire, to a disconnect, to another feeder, to a panel, and to a transformer, and all that kind of stuff. That whole power chain, that's hardware. But in the world that's speeding toward us, we're looking at the smart grid forcing us, or in many cases offering a benefit of, if we're able to get these elements to communicate with each other, then we can do more effective things with the power chain. And so I brought up the notion of what communication protocol, what that might look like, and Lauren instantly cited a particular standard. And if you tell me what that standard is, Lauren, I will get it up on the web. What was that one you were talking about?
It's actually it's IEC 61850, and about, I don't know, 25 years ago, IEC wanted a communication protocol standard that was transferable between all different vendor types for protective relays that talk to each other, because of course on the utility level, utilities often want to have an A-B style protection, and often from different vendors. So of course it behooved, the end user, owner, operator for utilities to have a common communication protocol standard, and I see no reason that could not work specifically for smart grid. I mean, a lot of your communications is going to start with IEDs anyway, and if IEDs have already migrated to 61850, then I think it's a matter of just getting conformance from other vendor types, like transformer that you mentioned for online gas monitoring as a for instance. And again, if they want metering data, there is metering data out of IEDs already, so a lot of the I'll call it partitions and standards for those types of things should already be part of that IEC 61850 protocol.
Okay. Then it would not be uncommon for a new standards agenda to ignore everything that's happened before. Okay, so I'm going to go to the IEC Smart Grid Standardization Roadmap, and it's one word. Here we are, Smart Grid Roadmap. Okay. And this is their website, and this is the one we were looking at today. Okay. I can't say much more. The committee just got started. If you like, I'm going to go to my calendar here, and I will put out an open invitation to my colleagues elsewhere in the academic world to call Jean Eckert, here we are, who is convening the U.S. tag. Now, there's probably a Canadian, I'm sure there's a Canadian tag since you are Canada there. And this is all that happened. And it started out as an administrative meeting as to who's on the committee, how much does it cost. It's something on the order of a couple $100, maybe $200-300. It's fairly nominal. I think that's payable to ANSI, for example. And it may well be that if Canadians want to be on this committee, then you have to approach the CSA group. So these are the people that are on this committee, at least it's from the U.S. So now the question is, what does this have to do with communication protocols in the power chain? And that's what you're bringing to light, Lauren, is that there's probably already something out there, and it may well be that we stitch all these together. And that's the best response I can have. Is this helpful to you guys here to know this? These are the only people on the committee. They're almost all manufacturers, as you can tell, or a manufacturer trade association. There's no university here. So if you want to get in on the discussion, talk to University of Calgary or talk to Littlefuse and see if they want to be part of that discussion. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, it's good to know. I didn't know that there was no committee starting. So.
Yeah, we were running out of committees in our industry. I don't know if you were noticing that. So on the June 30th, so the follow-up on this one was we wanted to prepare a paper, and we actually have to break out. You and I, you're going to have to set up another time to sketch that paper together for next year. And so that's just something we have to do. And I think both you and I got busy. And if you're anything like me, you're still recovering from the last conference. I actually just got reimbursed 3 days ago for the May conference. I'm not asking.
Yes, so you're ahead of me.
Okay. So what I was told is that it's likely that academics are much more attuned to writing papers. And that's a little bit troublesome for me personally, because a lot of what we founded this committee for was to give often isolated master electricians or electrical engineers who have a lot of electricians reporting to them. They want a cohort, a benchmark of performance, something they can say to their boss that we're doing what the bigger guys are doing, or we're doing something better than the bigger guys, something to give them a reference point, a performance reference point. And when it's only academics dealing with it, God bless their heart, they may not have the practical view in mind. In fact, their role is to provide maybe a larger view of the technicals and the technicals, but very often that's unmoored from the economics. And so we probably can depend upon the academics to put together papers, but I'm a little worried about practical people like Lauren and Nahad having time and being given the permission to write a paper. Any thoughts on that, guys?
No, I think you're bang on the money, Mike. It's a matter of, I think, one of two things happening: either convincing more practical people like ourselves that it's not that onerous to write a paper and it can be done, and I guess providing some guidance around the rules and framework and how to make a good paper that's still practical and still would be helpful to other types of people in the committee. Or on the other side, which is probably the harder part, would be having IEEE be more open to PowerPoint presentations or other types of presentations, which I think you've mentioned, right?
Yeah, I was fairly
well.
They were being kind to me when I suggested that we needed more of that, and I think there's still this intent and biased toward the scholarly academic approach, and it's all throughout IEEE. And maybe I'm just too young to start trying to buck the trend there. There are options for us. The options are that, and I'm trying to find our list of. We actually have a list of technical concepts. Let me try to find that for us. Is that we do panel presentations. That's one. Either panel discussions. So, for example, how do you negotiate a utility contract, or how do we deal with the should we be more active in understanding what the revenue streams are, the performance of the major manufacturers? That's one that I thought I wanted to make a statement about with Nahad, since he has an MBA. I felt that might be a topic. And so there is a platform for that, but it's only one day. It's only one day, and space may be limited. That doesn't mean that we can't try to get more, more time or another room for that. So if the content is there, I'm one of those people that say if the content is there, then technical concepts. Did I spell that right? I didn't. Here we go. We had actually been accumulating what might be ideas here. You guys can get to this, by the way, and I'll put this out there for you, and I'll remind everybody that this might be an inspiration. And I think somewhere in the HOD we put ourselves up on here. So I'll copy both. In fact, I want to put that on this website, so you should be able to. So you should be able to pick it off the website directly. It's a shared document, so I want to edit this page. And while you watch me edit through the magic of WordPress, I'll restate my ardent desire to have somebody help me run this website. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard to learn WordPress. I mean, your average bear is doing it. Link to list of technical concepts. I would say that it took me as long to learn WordPress as it did for me to be proficient in Microsoft Word. WordPress allows you to avoid dealing with this kind of stuff. See this stuff? Nobody wants to do all this kind of stuff, right? So they've made it a visual editor. So this is when you want to do really gnarly things. You want to get into the source code, flip a bit here and there down in the assembler. This here is the higher level that your average bear can do. And you actually just saw your average bear. You just actually saw your average bear make a link. Oops, excuse me. Now this is what you have to learn. You have to learn to update your edit. And then you do this, you look at it, and you'll see that it takes you there. So anyway, that's our list of concepts. And I don't know what else to do other than to just sort of be annoying and ask people. And I wish I had more time to sort of approach people one by one. I'll just say to Lauren, if you, and since you guys are close to the agenda, I'm hoping that you and I can do that thing about the electrical manufacturers, but you also had some other ideas that are more technical in nature.
Yeah, and that's why I think we need to get together. And we've been trying to get a meeting together, like I don't know, maybe half hour together, an hour, depending.
How about? I guess I don't want to show my calendar to the rest of the world right now. So
very busy one.
Yeah, because it's not. I can have my editor take that out or anything out of this. It's just that it costs me a couple days in turnaround. So, okay. Long story short, that's what this is all about. And what else do we have on our very quick overview of what we're trying to do here? Let me find my page again. Here we are. Okay, back on the agenda. So we talked about that. Giuseppe, I'm going to be in Milano in about 3 weeks. So I'm hopefully we'll meet him there, or I may go down to Rome and knock on his door and see if he's serious about wanting to. This would be a what we call a mini conference, one that would just see what could be done over there and to rally other like-minded people in this industry for that. Largely hospital though. So after that, I don't have anything else to say other than we need to set up breakout teleconferences for special topics.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea, and like I said, we've been trying to do this for a while now, but just I guess the timing hasn't worked out yet.
Okay, so why don't I'll have a chance to draft a page about an abstract. But before I didn't want to do that, go to my calendar and let the world see me do my calendar. Is there anything else we want to install here for the record on our video recording? Any questions, any comments, what we might want to do between now and the 28th? As you can see, anyone is welcome to look at any of these. And remember, these are largely picked by me, but we'd like to, for example, on this one, we'd like to see if the IEEE might want to have a voice in outdoor lighting. I know it's a large part of our budget. We have the better part of 10,000 lighting fixtures, and there's always better ways of doing that. And so what we're finding some very large gaping holes in the standards for how you deal with shared lighting in egress courts. So I put out 25 proposals just in these three standards. No, these two. I put last Monday. I put out 25 proposals. Half of them are ones that I lost on before. Half of them are new. But long story short, so here's an issue where campuses in the U.S. we don't have They're concerned about the illumination arts here. They're concerned about energy conservation. They're concerned about fire safety and egress. This is energy conservation again. Very often these are working in tandem. But I felt that IEEE, since electrical engineers had something to do with community lighting systems, that they might want to expand the chapter. And we could actually, if anyone's interested in that, we can go into Steve Townsend's and we can start marking that up. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. Here's the ICC. And again, since you guys are in Canada, I really should pick international issues because this is all stuff that's going on inside the United States. So maybe next time, could you guys give us a tour of the Canadian electrical code? That might be helpful. I wouldn't mind learning more about the way the Canadian electrical code works.
I think pragmatically it's not ridiculously different than the NEC. I think there's a lot of similarities. It's probably the formatting and structure is somewhat different, but I think when you boil it all down, both of them are basic fire prevention, safety ramification codes, right? Mm-hmm. But also, as we talked at the last conference, it's become unfortunately a bit of a minimum design standard, which I don't know if it was ever really intended to be.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an online version of it? Oh. Do you have an online version of it, Lauren?
I don't think I do.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say we could look at it.
There are electronic copies, but because it's a cost code, it's not posted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys ever touch the IEC standard? In fact, this other one we talked about. If you like, if it's enlightening to anyone, I have a budget to buy many of the IEC standards. I just don't want to buy the ones that we wouldn't use or find enlightening, even if you're not one that's applying it every day, maybe some knowledge of what others are doing. That was part of the rationale I had, and here's me hustling for help again, is letting others see your design guidelines. So if we go to technical concepts here, I've gone around the world, just some very basic searches to see what are the Irish doing in school design, for example. And so you can get an idea of what they're doing. And, it's kind of nice to know how the Irish want their schools to be electrically engineered, So I wouldn't mind if everybody's got some time, they want to surf the web while they're watching a ball game. Shoot me some links and we'll put them on here. And this might be useful if you want to provide this service of providing benchmarks and a performance reference for other professionals working in this space. Yeah, Nahad, anything before we close this call?
No, I was just going to say, since we're talking about the codes, do you get involved with 70E by any chance?
Do I get involved with who?
NFPA 70E?
70E, yeah. Yeah, I have a proposal out there. That proposal was to try to reference all the 3000 series. By the way, just to let you know, I did put about, I have several 70E proposals out there. In fact, with the magic of the world, you can see what I did. This was last Monday. You can actually see. So here's the benefit of the new NFPA process. You can retrieve your proposals a lot better. But there's a price you pay, and I think it's a very heavy price. The committees, as a consequence of having this new software, it didn't have to happen this way, but it turns out that it did happen this way, that the bar for committees to reject a proposal is much lower than it used to be. And I'm concerned about that because a lot of ideas got in the NEC, in my experience, never got through the first time through. It only got through after there was some haggling going on with the rest of the committee members. So let's see, if I go to 70E, you can see.
I was asking because I submitted a proposal that I'm planning so far to be in Chicago for the first draft meeting. I don't know if you'll be there.
For 70E? Oh, yeah, when is that? When is that meeting?
It's Chicago.
But when?
When? Monday, August 17th. Yeah, I can invite.
Yeah, I'm totally out of that one. You're welcome to. Here's another thing, guys, is that we can get an IEEE. I can't say this yet. I know that I let others use my GoToMeeting in our pool teleconferencing. So if you're at a meeting and they let you teleconference at that point, you can teleconference what's happening if they allow you to do that. Just letting you know. We're quickly moving to a world in which it doesn't matter where you are anymore. So I'd like to be in on that, but August is pretty well booked for me. I'm in Geneva and in the Netherlands, being with my wife and kids.
No, yeah.
So here's just so the written record, because I know Wai-Jen does listen to these video recordings. There you go, guys. I'm hustling to get more IEEE dot standards in this document. Hopefully they'll accept it. And I don't want to bore you with the stuff. I put a number of proposals out there. Since we are healthcare, I did put a number of, let's see, how many proposals did I submit? So they're all here. In fact, maybe I should upload them. You can see what I did. In fact, I'll do that when I get some time. So everybody, I'm being completely transparent here. You can see what I proposed. Okay. All right. There's a number of places in this particular standard where you can actually put stuff because they knew new stuff had to go there. I'm not sure if the Canadian Electrical Code does it, but this particular standard says, well, we know something belongs here. We just can't think about it. We don't know what it is right now, but whatever it is, it's going to belong here. So I've been using a lot of those reserved sections to get ideas across. And I figured it increases my odds of actually getting something done if there's an open hole for it. So that's my story. I'll turn this off, guys, so we can do some calendaring here. So,
and as you're doing the calendar,